Last weekend, me and my two RPM show co hosts took in a double feature at the movies. Now, one of the ones we saw was The Wolfman, starring Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins. Now, before I get into a brief review of that, I want to first talk about the certain historical logistics of this movie because there are certain that I know a number of you film buffs would surely already know, but would like to know just in case to refresh your memory. Now, The Wolfman, or this version, I should say, is a remake of the Wolfman version from 1941, starring Lon Chaney Jr. and Claude Rains. Now, that version of the Wolfman came out during its period of Hollywood cinema where Universal Studios brought out their humongous monster collection, where they had number of movies for Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Mummy, The Invisible Man, and Phantom of the Opera, and there's hundreds of titles that I could spend an hour talking about, but really I'm not gonna waste time for. You probably all know them by heart, but anyway, that version of the Wolfman is is about the same story. A guy who gets bitten by a wolf turns into a werewolf himself, as the legend goes. Even a man who is pure at heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfbane blooms and the autumn moon is full and bright. Now, that legend actually is something that we were introduced to in the original, but it's still applied to this one as well, being the same story deal and everything. Well, now getting into this version, a couple things right off the bat. Benicio del Toro does a phenomenal job recreating the role that was originated by Lon Chaney Jr. in all those years ago. And one of the things that worried me when I saw it, the previews, I should say, one of the things that kind of got under my skin because I was worried, this being a remake, that one of the things I was afraid he would do was do a direct imitation of Chaney. But watching it in the theater, he doesn't do that. He sticks to his own deal while at the same time using Chaney's performance as an anchor, but yet doing his own thing at the same time, which was he gets a lot of points for that. Second, the rest of the cast: Anthony Hopkins, Emily Blunt, Hugo Weaving, great all around. Third, the transformation effects that they do in this version are very spectacular. I mean, they're kind of up there with the transformation from other werewolf pictures like John Landis's An American Werewolf in London and Joe Dante's The Howling. Very cool and very nifty. Um, and finally, actually, I think, well, two final things, because this being a remake is something that I think scares a lot of people, especially me, because, or being a remake, generally, as history would show us, remakes do not work. Very seldom do they work, and this is actually one of those seldom times. Just to point out a few examples of where remakes do work would be The Thing, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Now that's the 1978 version with Donald Sutherland. Peter Jackson's King Kong, or there's so many. I think there's so many titles that I could name, but I don't want to get off topic here. But getting back to The Wolfman, very well done. I think one of the best movies of the year so far. Now, that's kind of a long stretch because we are only in the second month of 2010 and there haven't been many movies coming out. But I think this is one that I will remember when I'm making my top 10 of the year, months down the road, probably next December or next year's January. Um, The Wolfman is well worth your time. It's got, it's not something that I would take the kids to because it's above all an R-rated movie. So why would you take your kids to see that anyway? But it's well worth the time and money. It's got a unique twist that I think totally blows us all away. It certainly blew me away for one, but it's very entertaining on a horror level, but it does have the usual horror effects, the gore, the graphic violence, but in the end you come out of it being very satisfied, and I know I was very satisfied because this is a movie that I've been waiting like a year for to see, because this is one that they kept delaying. Those people at Universal kept delaying it for like a couple of months. It was supposed to come out last year, but they pushed it to this year. But with that being said, final thoughts would be The Wolfman is one of the best movies of the year. It's well worth the time and money, so go see it, have fun, and have a ball above all. And just it's a great time at the movies. So I hope that was useful. I will be doing more of these in the near future, so look for us all at the RPM Show's YouTube webpage. So see you for now.